Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. This is episode number 157. Yes, we're still climbing up that ladder. I guess en route to 200. Sounds like an American movie, doesn't it? You know, en route to 200 or something. But welcome to episode number 157. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Whenever I say that, the number of subscribers does go up, so it shows that you are listening. Thank you. Or if you're watching this on Facebook and you haven't done so already, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page. You can be kept updated about future podcasts and video productions from the Hare Krishna Project, and also all the other things that we do, such as book distribution, school visits, Hare Krishna festivals, and also a lot of our partnership work with the League of Devotees. So you can keep updated with what we're up to online. It's amazing with the internet these days. You can find out so many things about so many people. You know, I worked out the other day, of the 157 guests I've had on this podcast over 4 years, I think I've only met 10 of them actually in the flesh, because the other 147 are all over the world. Maybe I should go on a tour, a world tour, to go and meet all these people, including India, which is where we're going back to this week. Absolutely delighted to welcome our guest. It's Abeer. Hare Krishna, Abeer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad. All glories to
Dhanavat
Srila.
Pranam. Jai. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada indeed. It's great to have you with us. I'm pleased that I have finally persuaded you to come on the podcast. We were just chatting before that we've known of each other for a while, a couple of years. Um, Social media never ceases to amaze me, but I feel like we know each other quite well, and I'm pleased that we've allocated time today to record this podcast. We're going to have a fantastic conversation. So Abeer, your first question, it's a bit like a game show, isn't it? Your first question is the same question that every guest gets, just to warm them up, or me up as well. Please tell us a little bit about you and where you are from.
So, first of all, thank you so much, Prabhu, for inviting me. From like we a heartiest welcome and gratitude from all the Indian citizens, from Indian devotees, and I'm representing my India, my eternal Sanatan Dharma. So Hare Krishna, everyone. So my name is Abeer Parashar. So I am a physiotherapist by profession, and I am from New Delhi, India. So I am born and brought up in Delhi only, but like initially we were from Pakistan. Like I am a Punjabi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my family and everyone up like before partition, they were in Pakistan, Abbottabad. So after partition, they moved to New Delhi, and here only from here, like my grandfather and my grandmother, they got married, and then this legacy got like gone forward. So I'm a Punjabi by like caste, and now like I'm really doing good in my life because like I have done my studies also, and this much I can say about that.
Did you go to university?
Yes, like I went to university and I completed my bachelor's in physiotherapy. Then I did my master's in physiotherapy from
Wow.
neurology.
Wow. So just tell us a little bit, if anyone's unsure, what is physiotherapy? What does a physiotherapist do?
Physiotherapy is kind of a physical therapy. You have seen this physical therapy term. Like in layman language, we can tell like kind of an exercise therapy. It is kind of a non-invasive therapy, which we make the patients do. And majorly the thing is we make them rehabilitate into their natural surroundings. If one is not able to do the things of his daily activities on his own, So physical therapist helps him to, rehabilitate him, and, make him best fit into his own surrounding with the best of his, the capabilities that he's having.
Wow. Wow. And you are now, we're recording this podcast at your workplace. So I really appreciate you've taken time out of your busy schedule to talk to me today. So thank you for that. Just before we go on to the second question, did you have like a religious upbringing? Were you raised in a particular way?
uh I can say like religious upbringing is there, but not like, I will not say too much religious, because if you have idea, if you know the scenario of being born and brought up into Punjabi family. So we have a culture kind of, meat eating culture, alcohol. Punjabis are basically, what we say, like enjoying mentality people, like let's enjoy. Like in Hindi, like we have in Punjabi, we have this like khao piyo ash karo, like that, like eat, drink, and enjoy life. Like this kind of culture we are having. So, but I will say by the grace of Krishna, I will say like since I was, getting raised into that family, I was quite different from everyone. So I think in my lifetime, before joining Krishna consciousness also, I had, minimum like maybe twice or thrice took meat, that to be like, it's okay, I don't want, like that. So I think I was having the full blessings of Krishna
Hmm.
starting.
Hmm. I mean, I guess a lot of Indians will be raised as kind of nominally Hindu, like culturally we're Hindu. You know, we go to the temple on special occasions and we get married at the temple, and and it's the same in Western culture with Christianity. You know, most people are raised nominally Christian. You know, you get christened or baptized at the church and you get married at the church. My one of my friends is a vicar. He's a Church of England priest, and he jokes and he says, "Well, people in England and other Western countries think the Church of England is there for hatch, match, and dispatch. So babies come out, they have a blessing at church, match, they get married in church, and dispatch, the funeral. So people use the church for hatch, match, and dispatch. Um, and maybe in Indian culture, in South Asian culture, it's the same with Hinduism. We're just, we do these special rituals because they make us feel good. You know, we ask for a blessing for lots of money or something. I mean, that would be nice. I'm joking. Um, okay. Because that kind of leads us nicely on to the next question in terms of, your upbringing spiritually, religiously. How did you then meet the devotees? How did you discover Krishna consciousness?
Uh, this question is, very interesting, because as I told you, like I was religious from the beginning, but in, I think 2000, yeah, it's in like passing 1 year of COVID, like 2020, 2020. So I got infected with COVID. So I was in the hospital, like I was doing my hospital duties that time. So I got infected with COVID, coronavirus, and I was quarantined for that. Standard time was like the same 14 or 15 days, like that. And coincidentally, my all friends, like we are a group of 4 friends. So two were working on the same hospital and two are different. So surprise, coincidentally, out of like three, we got infected with COVID. So at the same time only. So we were like, and I was, totally uh, helpless at that time. I said like, what I will do, and I have a time also, because at one point of time I was happy also, because that time we were too much loaded with the hospital duties because of patients and everything. So I was little bit relaxed also. Like, okay, finally I will be getting some rest, like that. So that time I was having in my mind, like, I will not waste my quarantine days. Okay, so what I did, like, I said, okay, now actually before Krishna consciousness, I was a Shiva devotee. So I every day used to go to temple and pour like the water on that shivling and offer prayers and like that every day. Like, even rainy season, winter season, hot, if even if I having fever, no one can stop me like that. So in quarantine we cannot go anywhere. So I said, okay, I will now listen about Lord Shri Krishna. All of like this was planning in my mind in quarantine. So I said, okay, like, everyone says Krishna is not a god. Like, everyone blasphemes him. He's having affair with gopis and like that. Why people say? Because if someone has, like, if the literature has said like Krishna is God, so God cannot do like that. How he can do all the things, affair and everything? So I said, okay, I will definitely do some research on this, and I will listen to Bhagavatam specifically. I said I will listen to the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in India, we have you must have heard about this. Like, in India, we have a 7 day Bhagavatam programs. seven
Yeah, I
days
mean, I'm not sure if they happen in the UK, but I have heard of them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like that in India, it's very, common 7 day Bhagavatam program, like that. So I started listening to uh, one, not, a bona fide, I will say, guru, but I started listening to his Bhagavatam, like that. But I don't know, that also worked, I will say. And I became so emotional, and I said, okay, what is that? Like, what is happening to me? I was not able to understand what is happening to me after 14 days, after this quarantine. Everything changed. I said, what is this? What like, what is happening to me, like that, like then after, when I joined my hospital again, I was just, chanting on my own, no devotee association, don't know what is Krishna consciousness, like that. Then one day, what happened? I was doing some my hospital work only in my office. So one devotee came, and actually two came, and one was a patient, and other one was inquiring something from the counter. Then I saw him. I said, like, from his attire, he is having a Vaishnava dress. I must approach him, what he wants, like that. Then I approached him. I said, yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, like that. So he said, yes. I said, Prabhu, like, why you are here and what happened? May I help you, like that? So he said to me, like, the other devotees having some neck issues. So we want to consult to the doctor. He is having some serious issues. So we want his surgery to be done, like that, like that. I said, okay, I will help you. So that ways, like, maybe twice or thrice, I helped that Prabhu, and finally his surgery was done, and he was happy. He got discharged and everything went very nicely. Then he asked me one thing, like, are you associated with some devotees, and are you a devotee, like that? I then said, like, I told him, like, I don't know what is a, like, who is a devotee, what we, like that. But I'm chanting, and I am, like, before that also, I without any, permission from my mother, from my family, I wore tulsi kantimala and quit onion garlic without prior to discuss. Yes. Then he make me introduced to one local devotee, Mataji. Her Grace Karuna Sakhi Devi Dasi Mataji in in place where I live. So she then, this took my this Bhakti Lata Beach forward offline, like on, because that time we were not supposed to go outside and meet in person. So the Zoom meetings were held that time. So we were morning program was there. So I gradually I took up that. And also like, but that ways like kind of thing was uh, still I was having a lot of questions regarding Krishna consciousness, like because I am very philosophical kind of person, like I want to ask this kind of. So I have few questions. Then I met Purujit Prabhu, YouTube. Not exactly met, but I was searching some video. Then I found Purujit Prabhuji there, and I directly put up the question of initiation. Like, I want to get initiated, and what is the criteria like that? Then he messaged me from Facebook. No, he messaged me, and I got the message on my email. Then I, approached him on the Facebook, sent him requests, then started asking questions, and then slowly, my faith and my determination got strong about pursuing this Krishna consciousness only. I don't want to like make myself deviated to other things, like maybe any, like when we say aparad kind of devotion, but no.
Mm.
So from that, since 2020, now it's 2025. So I am also surprised, like how really time flies, and now understood, like I am where I was started and where I came.
So those devotees in New Delhi that you were conversing with in 2020, do you still have contact with them now?
Yeah,
You do have and you still associate with them and go to classes with them?
yeah, yes, yeah. One that I told you, that Mataji, she is like my spiritual mother. Like, like, yeah, in these days, our bond got so much stronger now, like Mataji and me, like a mother-son relationship, sharing thoughts on Krishna consciousness, uh, sharing secrets, how to, if some problem is there, like I say to Mataji, I'm facing this, like especially for anything we have, if like for marriage also, Mataji, I want to get married. So like, so a lot of things are there. So she's the best, like, I will say, like if uh, sometimes I think, like, if I want to get a devotee mother, so she is my devotee mother.
Mm. That's encouraging to hear. It's always good to have guides, people that are there with you along your spiritual journey. People, that are more senior, maybe you can ask them for advice and guidance and support. And yeah, I can think of people over the last 20 years since I've been in the movement that have, yeah, they've been great to talk to and just kind of, share some thoughts with. So, um, and I'm pleased to hear that one of those people for you is Purujit Prabhu. So if any of our viewers and listeners are not aware, we're talking about Purujit, the leader of BLISS, the Bhaktivedanta Lives and Science Society, which is probably the fastest growing Hare Krishna group in Western Europe, quite possibly one of them. I've interviewed a number of BLISS devotees before, and I also wrote about BLISS in my book, all the different Hare Krishna groups in Britain. BLISS was one of them. And I was sharing with Abeer before we hit the record button that um, I met one of the devotees from BLISS, Maitreya Prabhu, in a park in South London in 2020. We were sticking to the COVID pandemic rules by not meeting inside. We sat outside in a park, slightly far away from each other, and we had a great conversation about bliss and the ideology, the philosophy, and the teachings that bliss promotes, which of course are the teachings of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And they've been good friends of mine ever since. And I'm a supporter of what they do because I think they're fantastic. So I'm pleased that you're connected with Bliss. And that leads us nicely on to the next question. You've for a long time, 5 years isn't a long time, 4.5 years, you've been a supporter of Bliss. Um, why is that? And what is it about their message that inspires you?
Mhm. So I have been associated with Bliss, like I told you, maybe in 2020. If we can start with 2021 to 25, like we can say 4.5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been associated. And today only, like after asking your question, I just calculated like this much time has already passed. And I have never, thought of this. Like 4 years have already gone. We are knowing each other since, and still, surprisingly, I have not met Purujit Prabhu in person. It is just like online via medium is there. So I'm looking forward to meet him. I don't know when he will come to India. Don't know. So and uh, because the thing is, like I told you before, I am very kind of a philosophical person. Like I want to know the reasons. Why is that? Because the thing is, I was having some personal issues with me. So I was very much, disheartened and confused that at that point of my life. So then surprisingly, I will say, now I can realize like it's because, I think that is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada only. I really don't know how
Mm.
I met Purujit Prabhu, such a nice devotee who can understand me better and on a particular subject matter. A lot of devotees are also there all around the globe, but why only specifically Purujit Prabhu I came across? I can only feel this is the hand behind this meeting is only Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So when I met him, I asked him questions like why I am suffering like that, why me, why all these things is happening to me. Because apart from my personal issues also, like uh, every time I saw my life since my childhood, I was just suffering and suffering, because I lost my father in a very tender age. Like I was just 8 years old. I lost my father to heart attack, and we were three siblings, like me, my brother, and my sister is there. My mother, she has to work very hard for us. Being born and brought up in a joint family, a lot of challenges are there in a joint family. In Hindi, like specifically in Indian, this families and like that. So I was very much agitated always, like why this? Because what I feel, I am having a different personality from other persons in my family. I'm very kind of a, what we see, sensitive, emotional, and deep thinking person on any subject. I don't know. I think it's by default or what, I don't know. But I always think too much on a topic, pros and cons, why this, why that, and how the things can be done. So like that. So at that point of time, I found His Grace Purjit Prabhu. Then I asked him questions like, this is my problem, this is my problem. Then he asked me like, are you chanting rounds? I said, yes, Prabhu, I chant. And at the time, I think I was chanting 7 rounds, I think so. 7 rounds I was chanting. So he said, okay, very good, very nice, you are a nice devotee, you are a nice person. And he was praising me like anything. And I said, no, but no, nobody praises me, why he is praising me? like that. So I was happy to be, inclusive to his words, and I felt really relaxed in my mind. Like, yes, he is he's someone who is actually supporting me and clearing my doubts and like that. Then slowly, I was asking him questions about my personal life, professional life. So he always say to me, "Okay, don't worry, chant Hare Krishna." He gave me solution: chant Hare Krishna, continue chant Hare Krishna, continue chant Hare Krishna. Then slowly, I think after some time, my questions to him changed. Like, initially I was asking just about my problems. Why me? Why this? Why this? Now, but slowly, gradually, when I was chanting, and then I was asking him why, why Srila Prabhupada is the guru, bona fide guru. Like, what is like that? What is Krishna consciousness? And what all you do in this Krishna consciousness, how we can practice bhakti, how we can chant more precisely and attentively Hare Krishna, like that. Majorly my question was on Srila Prabhupada, because because one thing is very nice about Purujit Prabhu is, like, he always invites his followers or anybody to his podcast, like, sorry, his live streams. So he always say, like, come and live stream and ask questions, like that. So that ways I was asking questions in his live stream about Srila Prabhupada, about Krishna consciousness, about that particular shloka, about our problems, like that. Then I came to understand, like, how Srila Prabhupada is the bona fide spiritual master. He is not an ordinary person, like, because initially, frankly speaking, I was thinking Srila Prabhupada is ordinary guru only. Like, he took birth and he died. He just spread Krishna consciousness, like that. But Purujit Prabhu is the only person I have met ever till now, like, who has given me a brilliant and a clear explanation about who is exactly Srila Prabhupada. And he made me a strong and a staunch lover and a devotee of Srila Prabhupada. Then he said, that, okay, don't worry, stick to lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, ask Srila Prabhupada about your, problems, and take his refuge, chant Hare Krishna, hear his lectures, start with short lectures of Srila Prabhupada, then gradually, step by step, you can, go forward. And also he gave me one series, like this lecture series of Srila Prabhupada. I think you must be knowing that. Here, Srila Prabhupada. So he gave
Yeah,
me
I
that.
know it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so he gave me that. I started listening to Srila Prabhupada lectures, and uh, since then until now, I am totally a changed person, and I obey, and I no one can replace Srila Prabhupada in my life. Jai Srila Prabhupada, like that. The most wonderful spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada.
Mm,
That
mm.
is why I am very much deadful, and I am very much grateful to Purujit Prabhu that he gave me Srila Prabhupada.
I find it very encouraging hearing your story actually about that deep faith and conviction in Srila Prabhupada and how it's grown over the years. And Purujit has done what a lot of people should be doing is just, and actually it's a very simple thing, it's sharing Prabhupada with others, and that is the etiquette in Vaishnavism, that let's say you talk about Krishna consciousness in your workplace, and they say, "Hey, Abeer, you're great. I want to be one of your followers." You say, "I don't want any followers. I'll just take you to the one that told me all about it. Read the books of Prabhupada. Yes, Purujit has been there as an enabler or as a guide, but ultimately, yeah, read Prabhupada's books as well. They've changed my life, you know. I'm sure they can change your life as well. And now you're like a representative of Bliss, aren't you? You kind of fly the flag for the Bliss community, the Bliss movement in New Delhi. And my next question, therefore, this is kind of an interesting one for me. What is it like preaching in India? How easy or difficult is it to convince people of Prabhupada's message, particularly when India is so full of so many religions and philosophies um, that all come under the Sanatana Dharma umbrella? You know, I mean, what's it like preaching in India, and is it easy? Is it difficult?
Mhm. Actually, I think you must have heard one story, like two persons are there, like, and both went to a master to learn some tabla. You understand
Yeah,
tabla,
yeah.
like mridanga tabla, like that. So the master asked one disciple, first disciple, so do you know how to play tabla? So he said, yes, I know. So he said, okay, I will charge 15 rupees from you. He said, okay. And the other disciple, the master asked, like, do you know how to play? He said, no, master. So he said, okay, I will charge only 5 rupees from you. So the first person said, like, why you are charging 15 rupees from me and 5 rupees from him? Then the master replied, because since you already having the practice of playing tabla before, so I have to make it undo your previous practice and then redo your uh, my one, the new technique. So that is why it will take a lot of efforts from my side to make you learn. So same is with preaching in India, because here people, they know Krishna. There you have heard Srila Prabhupada lectures also, when Prabhupada is giving lectures and they are asking, like, Krishna is God. Yes, yes, we know Krishna. He took birth in Mathura, and he has so many gopi girlfriends, and like that he has Shrimati Radharani. So they don't say like Krishna is God, and they offer respect to Krishna. So same is mostly in India. We have this kind of audience who already know Krishna, but uh, they are not devotee of Krishna.
Mm,
They are just, they say like, okay, he is God just like other gods, like Ganesha, like Shiva. But they only feel Shiva is God, Vishnu is God, Krishna is not God. He is also some kind of midway. So that is why we have to, the people who are preaching in India, so we have to be very specific. Like you see in Europe, or in Western, people are mostly atheists. Like they don't know. And if mostly Christians are there, if atheists are there, so you can say them like chant Hare Krishna, or Krishna is God. So they will ask, okay, who is Krishna, who is that God? So you can, this is God, okay, they will understand, okay, that is God. But in India, we have we face many problems in keeping this Krishna consciousness philosophy, specifically quitting tea. Because here a lot of people, they are just mad for tea. And in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says like, no this tea, no coffee. So they don't believe, like, what is that, how all these things will help us in making us a devotee, and promoting Krishna consciousness, and following rules and regulations like that. So uh, in India, we have to be very specific. We have to take a lot of guidance from the seniors. Like till now also, like if I am making videos and everything, so I mostly ask my that mother, my spiritual mother, like how should I start. So she tells me, like, do not, uh, tell them all of sudden to quit this, quit that, slowly, gradually go forward. Because she is also a preacher. She's holding her separate Zoom group, and she is having her own group also, WhatsApp group, preaching group. So she is facing a lot of problems, and she's preaching like that. So I often ask her also how to, handle this kind of audience if someone is asking, abrupt questions all of a sudden like that. So it's good also, but I only feel the order of Purujit Prabhu. Actually, he gave me that inspiration, I will say to you, to make this preaching kind of videos specifically. So he said, like, you don't have to just make audience your followers. You just have to follow Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada is saying on a particular topic, and do not put your if and but. Just follow what Srila Prabhupada says, and your duty is to fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada by preaching. Rest, you leave everything on Prabhupada and Krishna, and uh, he will see everything. So I
Mm.
am following that word of Purujit Prabhu only, to make videos, and I try. I know, I don't know really, sometimes I feel how I'm making videos and how I am speaking so much. It's been amazing, it's been surprising to me as well, how I am saying a little bit about Prabhupada or Krishna. It's all the grace of Prabhupada and Krishna only, and devotees. So this much
Well,
I
it's
want to say.
about speaking from the heart. I mean, I've seen your videos and they're very good. I know you've been a bit ill the last couple of days, so you've not done any, but before that, they were coming up regularly on my feed on Facebook, and they're very good. And I mean, you're speaking in Hindi, aren't you? So I don't know what you're saying, but I can feel the enthusiasm. I can feel the spiritual enthusiasm coming through it. And actually, what I'm going to do with this podcast, I'm going to share a link to your page. And is there also a Bliss India page? Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I'm sure I've seen that. I'm going to put a link to that as well with this podcast so people can see what you're doing. And you're flying the flag for the Bhaktivedanta Lives and Science Society in India, which is a massive a- achievement, a massive thing to do, isn't it? I mean, India's like, is India the biggest country in the world, or is it still China? I get confused because it's almost there, isn't it? I don't know, but there's a lot of people in India, is what I'm saying, and in New Delhi. I mean, I was sharing with you before we hit the record button. I remember, going to New Delhi years ago and being overwhelmed with this the amount of people and everything, and if I ever return to India, which I will, I'm sure we will meet at some point. But and also I was really encouraged to hear what you said about directing people to Prabhupada, following Prabhupada. That's what we strive to do here at the Hare Krishna Project as well. I've had some very bizarre conversations with people over the years. I do some short talks myself, um, particularly around the theme of inclusive Vaishnavism, of how Prabhupada's message is very inclusive. And I had one person once contact me and say they were a devotee of me. It's like a complete weird thing. And then someone else wanted to take initiation from me, and I just said, I don't think so. I'm a sinner, just like everyone else. You need to follow Prabhupada. What a crazy idea. I'll always be a rascal, unfortunately. But you need to read Prabhupada's books. They are life-changing, literally life-changing. Um, you know, um, so I completely agree with you 108% on everything you've just said. And in terms of your videos, how useful are these to reaching out to a wider audience? Are you able to reach out to people that are actually in New Delhi in India?
Yes, yeah, like over the past few months, I I have seen like people are, commenting on my Facebook, these videos of, appreciating the words of, like, obviously these are the words from Srila Prabhupada only. So appreciating the words of Srila Prabhupada, and everything, like number of views, and I am able to connect the people also to through Facebook also. That is why, Purujit Prabhu then gave me that permission to start with this Expand the Bliss India page. Specifically, he told me to make Hindi videos because here we have a Hindi speaking language. So initially I was making videos in English starting. So then he said to me, like, make videos in Hindi so that you can, reach to a wider public locally here in Delhi or in India, maybe in Bangladesh, Nepal. So those people who can understand Hindi. So that is why now specifically Expand the Bliss India, I am making videos in Hindi so that, I can express myself better in my mother tongue, like that. But yes, definitely, this is, amazing platform for, by making videos we can reach to a wider people. Short message, not long videos, short message and precise message. What Srila Prabhupada has said on a particular topic, I just copy and paste, and what I do. I first of all, before making video, the letter that Prabhupada has said, I'll search on Veda base what Srila Prabhupada has said on that particular topic. I just pick it up and say, no credit of mine.
Yeah, it's always the right thing is to quote Prabhupada. I mean, and
Yes.
there isn't a shortage of quotes. Prabhupada said a lot of things, and
Yeah.
I did a Facebook video the other day on the Hare Krishna Project page that I went to the local dump to take all my rubbish because it's the start of a new year. It's good for a clear out. So I talked a bit about that, but I linked that to the teachings of Prabhupada that actually we shouldn't have all these possessions and these attachments because when we leave this world, we can't take anything with us. And actually, it's a lot better if we have very few possessions, if possible, only things that we need. So I again agree with you. I agree with everything, I think. And it's it's really good to always quote Prabhupada. And in terms of bliss in India, in New Delhi, are you kind of meeting people on the streets? Are you engaging with people in your community as well?
Yes, sometimes, like in book marathon. Recently, we have this, all worldwide. We have this book marathon from ISKCON, also from every Hare Krishna and everything. So sometimes I went with I went with my other devotees and my mother also, and distributed Bhagavad Gita in person and tried to communicate the message of Bhagavad Gita to them. But not I'm not able to, go outside often and distribute books. So I found it this online platform is the best for me to,
Yeah.
to make videos and preach Krishna consciousness like that.
It's
So
ama
that,
it's ama no, it's amazing. It's amazing. And the internet shouldn't replace the real world or shouldn't replace being out into the in the community and preaching and doing events. But it's certainly important these days. I mean, at the Hare Krishna Project, we're reaching thousands of people every week with our podcast, our videos, our photos, with these very short snippets and news things. And it's quite amazing because everyone's online these days, aren't they? So we should quite rightly use the internet, use social media for in service to Lord Krishna. Everything should be we should use the service in service to Krishna. I had a conversation with a devotee a while ago, and he said, "Well, if Prabhupada was physically here today, do you think he'd want us to use Facebook?" Because of course he'd want us to use Facebook. Use it for Krishna's service. Use everything for Krishna's service. Krishna consciousness isn't necessarily about giving everything up. You know, I think it's great that you've got, you've got a job and it's a good job and because you're using that ultimately for a service of the Lord. You haven't become a monk. I haven't become a monk. We're living in the world and we're making the most of that. this is a Christian word now, but you're witnessing to your colleagues and your patients and your friends and your family. You're witnessing, you're sharing, you're
Mhm.
preaching,
Right.
teachings of Bhakti yoga, which is great. And we all can't do that if we all live in an ashram or a temple. I'd
Yeah.
get quite bored actually living in a temple, I think. Just try and escape. And so what is so next and kind of final question, but I might ask you a few things after, but what are your preaching plans for the future? What does the future hold for Bliss in India?
Um, Specifically in this Bliss India. So, like, I'm looking forward to start my this like live stream also. Like I have to like this is my plan and this is my
Mm.
wish also to hold up a regular live stream session, just like London Bliss they are doing every shloka like that. So I also wanted to start with this. So this is a wish inside me and I wanted to execute this. So but I don't know when it will be started, but definitely it will be started soon only. Like we will be starting our live stream from Expand the Bliss India. And in terms of preaching also, like uh, initially, like I am making videos from my this Facebook ID, like from my Abeer ID. So I wanted to shift videos and everything starting from Bliss India page only.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good move. I mean, everything I do is through the Hare Krishna Project social media channels. I mean, I have my personal social media channels. There's a bit of preaching there, but it's not so much because it's not about me. It's just not about me. I mean, that's more of a work, personal life thing. I mean, there's a little bit of Krishna conscious sometimes, but I don't want my mum to think I've joined a cult and I've gone crazy. But so everything I do is via the Hare Krishna Project pages. I'm actually just looking now at Expand the Bliss India Facebook. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really encouraging to hear that you want to do live streams because the Bliss live streams from London are getting thousands of views per
Oh my God.
day.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I also get tagged every day in the there's like they're on like a mission, aren't they? There's like 8 people that live in the temple, and it's like a rota, I think, or they're on like a timetable. Right, it's your turn to target everyone and everything. But actually, it works. It works. And
It was
I
fun.
remember about a year and a half ago, I saw that Bliss had put up a Harinam video from London for in London, and I think within 24 hours, it had received 50,000 views.
Mhm.
And I kept thinking to myself, how are they doing this? Well, how are they getting 50,000 views in 24 hours? And then I worked out, I'm not going to say now on this recording, but then I worked out how they were doing it. All genuine, by the way. They're
Ah,
real people, real views. I don't want anyone to think that they're doing anything untoward. And then we've started to adopt the same social media practices at the Hare Krishna Project. And as a result, our videos are getting a lot more views in a quicker period of time. And we're reaching far more people. There is a bit of a secret, a social media secret, but I'm not going to share it. Maybe if you give a donation to the Hare Krishna Project, I'll reveal. I don't know. But yes, I'd love to see you doing live streams. I mean, I used to do live streams, but then I believe it or not, I got nervous. I don't admit that often. I don't get nervous anymore. But I like to prepare and plan and give a talk, but then upload it after, or I do little videos and things. But a live stream would be, yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future we could do that here as well at the Hare Krishna Project. Okay. And hopefully you'll get to meet Purujit someday.
maybe like I think they are having some plans to visit India. I maybe by this year, or, March, or I don't know, but they are having some plans. So Purujit Prabhu will also be coming to India. So then I'll definitely meet him.
Yeah, I remember when Maitreya Prabhu came to India last year, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He like Maitreya Prabhu and one other devotee, Ram Lakshman Prabhu. So
Yeah,
they both like they had a night stay in my house that time.
I've actually got the photo here. I've just found
Ah, right. Yeah,
found
this
it
was.
on my. It's on Expand the Bliss India Facebook page.
Yeah,
But
right, right,
I
right.
remember seeing that photo, and there's you right down there.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you are.
This is
But
me
no,
and my sister.
it's a wonderful photo. You all look very happy, and
Yeah, we were very happy, and I was, we had a lot of conversation, Maitre Prabhu and I. So we talked, and we were just amazing, and we were like the best part is like I was happy to serve them a little bit only, but like we were blessed to have them here with us. We were really
yeah,
blessed. Everyone was very happy, and my mother especially was very happy because she used to cook, and different dishes of northern, like our Punjabi, and like he used to take it, and like we were all happy, like we are having some quality time with Bliss
mm.
devotee, like that. We were very
You
happy in
you
short.
look like you look like a very happy family in this photo. Um, is that I have to hold it here with your
Yeah.
spiritual family and your kind of material biological family as
Uh,
well.
yeah, right.
It's a wonderful
Very
photo.
nice.
And those are your siblings as well. Yeah, great. Wonderful photo. And yeah, great. Okay. We've been recording for about an hour now, believe it or not. We've been recording this wonderful podcast, this great conversation today. I am really pleased that I managed to convince you to come on this podcast, and maybe I'll convince you to come back in a year's time so we can see how Bliss India is doing, you know.
Sure, sure. Now I have to, fulfill my words.
Yeah. And if you're sincere and you're dedicated and you're genuine, Prabhupada, Lord
Hmm.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna, they reciprocate, because we are,
Yeah.
if you follow their will, it's amazing. Here at the Hare Krishna Project, back in the early days, when I thought I was in control, and actually I'm not in control. I was thinking, how are we going to get the money to fund this and fund that? And actually, if you just literally sit back, you know, and surrender or try and surrender, like funding, comes in. We organized a big tour of the UK last summer for a group of devotees from France, and I needed to raise quite a bit of money to cover the trip. And within 7 days, the money was in the Hare Krishna Project's bank account. It was just such a blessing. And I think if you're sincere, um, Prabhupada responds because Prabhupada wants this preaching to take place. Wants
Right.
this preaching to take place. So I will invite you back in a year's time.
Yeah, sure.
That'll probably be episode like 210. We're doing like 50 a year at the moment. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I know, maybe
Almost.
210, 200. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, Abeer, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody at home. And then if you just stay in the Zoom room, we'll have a brief debrief after.
Okay.
But I'm incredibly grateful to Abeer Prabhu for being our 157th guest on the Hare Krishna
No problem.
Project podcast. I'm grateful to him for taking time out of his busy working day. He's recording this from his place of work. So please thank your boss as well for not unless you're the boss, I don't know. Uh, uh, it's nice to be the boss of something sometimes. So I'm very grateful to him. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on Facebook, if you haven't already, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page. Those are the two platforms where you can watch this podcast. And do not forget, we love to receive feedback. If you have any comments about this podcast, please do get in touch. I particularly appreciate constructive feedback. I am in favor of anyone having any view that they want, even if I disagree with it, just present it in a nice way. That's what my grandmother used to tell me. And what else was I going to say? And if you want to be a guest on the future edition of the Hare Krishna Project podcast, you are welcome here. We have a very broad, open doors, inclusive policy. I want to include as many people as possible. Okay, so until next week, I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna.